Over the past 5 years, the popularity of indoor training has boomed, and as such, so has the technology and the platforms that allow us to ride or race in virtual worlds, train more specifically, and just generally have a far more exciting and enjoyable experience when we're riding our bikes indoors. So I've teamed up with RGT to tell you all about the improvements and updates to their platform. RGT is a virtual reality cycling simulator, and it launched just a few years ago, but since then the clever computer whizzes have been busy behind the scenes to improve the user experience, improve the real world physics, and simplify the process from getting from download to the point of starting your first ride. First step to getting you on your way to using RGT is to download it onto a compatible device. You've got the option of Apple iPhone, iPad, Mac OS, Windows-based devices, Android tablets, Android phones, and even Apple TV. And then at this stage, you'll have the option of using the service completely for free. This will give you access to ride a selection of RGT real roads, complete a selection of FTP-based workouts, enter official RGT races and group rides, and also enter public group rides and public races. However, if you want access to all of the features, there is a premium membership available, but RGT are offering new users a 14-day free trial. But what does premium membership actually get you? Well, Magic Roads are one of those features it gets you. This is where RGT will create a virtual route or road mimicking that of a GPX file which you upload. So if I save my ride from now, I can click upload, we'll be there. Pretty impressive really, and it's one of their unique selling points, although that said, it does need to be less than 100 kilometers in length, but I mean, I'm alright with that. Who really rides more than 100 kilometers on the indoor trainer other than Hank? The Magic Roads feature is an area RGT are continually working to develop, and at the moment there are 2 virtual worlds which are overlaid on top of your chosen GPX route or file that you send in, and I believe there's a third on their way too. But something really cool is that their R&D team have told me that they're currently working to develop software which will mimic the scenery that you're likely to be riding past out in the real world. All pretty impressive stuff. As well as access to all of the workout library, you can even upload your own workouts onto the platform. You have access to training plans which are linked in with Training Peaks. You can create your own group workouts and your own races. And as well as that, you'll have access to all 12 of the virtual worlds. A premium membership costs £6.99, €8.99 or $9.99 US a month. So what equipment are you going to need? Well, first and foremost, you're going to need a compatible device and an internet connection. Now, I'm using my laptop to run RGT today, and I've also got the larger screen behind me, which can mimic the screen of my laptop. It just gives me a much clearer display. Thankfully, the equipment that you need is probably likely that most of us have got access to, and if you haven't got access to that, there are some fairly low-cost options of tech out there available to use, and most mid-range phones and tablets will be able to run the program. And in terms of that internet connection, you're going to need about a 10 megabytes per second download speed and 1 megabyte per second upload speed, which is fairly standard for most connections around the world. If you're unsure if your device is compatible, there's an extensive list over on the RGT website, so if you're unsure, head over and just check it out. In terms of the physical bike equipment, you've got a few options here, but for the most immersive experience, you'll need to use a smart trainer or a smart bike. These will adapt to the gradients in the game and use their inbuilt power meters to control how fast your in-game character is riding. This is all based on the height and weight information you input when you created your account. RGT can communicate via Bluetooth and ANT+, and you can also connect up your heart rate monitor too. Now, if your laptop doesn't have Bluetooth, don't worry, because there is the RGT Remote App, which is available on your phone and enables you to use your phone to act as a connecting bridge to your laptop. But more on that smartphone app in a minute. So how do we go about using the platform? Well, having created your account and logged in, you'll be greeted with this, which is the home page. From here, you can click on menu and select the sensors where you can pair up your equipment to your laptop. You can also change the settings for your in-game character, such as the kit and clothing that they're wearing, and just generally try to recreate a profile that mimics you or however you want to look in the game. And then at this point, we can go back to our home page and we're presented with 4 different options. You've got Just Ride, Events, Workouts, and then that magic road option. But first off, I'm going to have a look at Just Ride. And it's at this stage you can then load up the different courses and worlds and pick for where you want to ride. Now, in the free version, you're going to have a slightly smaller selection to choose from, but there's still plenty of options out there. So first up, I'm going to use Iron Horse Bicycle. So I'm going to click on that and let it all load up. Just Ride is going to be the simplest way to get you on the platform and riding your bike. Choose to ride easy, have free reign of what you do, or choose to ride hard. Want to race or ride with your mates? Well, the events section is where you'll want to head. It's here that you can choose between club rides, group rides, and even all those racing options. You've got your normal race, the elimination race, time trials, and there's even the option of group workouts where everyone does the same workout, but all based on your own individual FTP numbers. When you're completing an activity on the platform, this is the display that you'll see. In the top right-hand corner, we've got some of the ride metrics. We've got overlay of the route we're riding on. The top left, we've got our power metrics, and then we've got a list of the riders which we're riding near on the course. Now, all of this view can be customized to be set up exactly how you like it. And then that leads on to the RGT Phone Remote App, because this is going to allow us to control pretty much everything that we need to change and do in-game without having to get off of our bike. So it allows us to choose between the different menu options at the bottom of the screen, so we can change our camera view, wave, turn around, look behind, chat, so I can click on the chat setting on the app, and allows me to type in different messages to riders or team members that I'm riding with at the time so I can communicate with them. It just also has a shortcuts section to allow me to do some common functions that you need to do when you're riding, such as skip an interval, particularly useful in the workout settings, and adjust that trainer difficulty if you're finding your workout a little bit too hard, or dare I say it, you're finding it a bit too easy. And then you can click on end ride when you've finished what you're doing. If you take your e-racing seriously, you'll be pleased to know that the RGT servers send out the same data and information simultaneously to all the riders in your race. That means what you see on screen, every other rider is seeing on screen, and it removes any of that confusion element over who's won the race or who's in lead position at any given moment. But what about the real world physics and how that's implemented in the game, I hear you ask? Well, RGT say they've gone through literally thousands of iterations here and are still not done with it. But they do feel like they're close to an accurate representation of real world speeds and real world movement. Drafting is a crucial skill to know when you're riding on the road in the real world or in game. So when your rider is sat behind another, you're going to be able to draft them and therefore save a significant amount of energy and power. And in game, drafting comes into effect at speeds above 16 kilometers an hour. Now, to help you out, there's some really clear and nice visual cues in the top left-hand corner of your screen. This will help remove any of that guesswork on how the drafting is affecting your experience. You'll have a minimum amount of power that's required to stay in that draft. There'll then be the actual amount of power that you're saving at that given moment compared to riding on the front in the wind yourself. And then also there's going to be the amount of power required to overtake that rider and move to the front of that group. But for now, I'm going to just carry on riding and sat in nicely behind this guy in front. Oi, get off the wheel. Literally no chance. Try and drop me if you can. They've also implemented an auto braking feature. I mean, who knew that existed? This is to try and limit the in-game collisions where your avatar seems to crash into another one, and it adds another real-world element to the game. You'll see your character braking to take a fast descent, and something that was really cool, which I've noticed, is that in a group workout or a ride or perhaps a race, if you're riding in that large group, as the front of the group brakes for a corner, it will back up the rest of the pack just like it does in a race. It's that concertina effect. And that adds a really cool and interesting element to those racing situations, much like what you get out on the road. When auto braking is applied, your power figure in the top left corner is simply going to turn red so that you've got a nice clear visual cue. When you finish your ride and catch your breath back, you can either click End Ride on your laptop or you can use the RGT Remote App to click End Ride. And at this point, you're going to have all of your ride data and metrics saved onto the RGT app. And at this point, you have the option to click on the button and sync your ride and the data to Strava and Training Peaks if that's your thing. So that's everything you need to know to be up to speed with RGT and the improvements that they've made. But the tech boffins at RGT do tell me they've got plenty more in the pipeline, including things like steering. And I'm really keen to hear what characteristics and features you look for when you're choosing an indoor training platform. So let me know in the comments section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, well, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, share it far and wide with all your friends. See you later.